Why are more and more people having to live with such things as fear, anxiety, and worry? These are not in our natural state as human beings. We didn't come into this world anxious, afraid, and worried. Nobody was like that when they were born. You came into this world without any of that baggage. So why do so many suffer anxiety, fear, and worry today? These are things we create ourselves because we were not born in a state of anxiety or fear. So how can we go back to being free of them? First off, realize that we are talking about one and the same thing here. Fear, anxiety, and worry are the same thing. You become anxious because you fear something bad is going to happen. Same thing when you worry. You only worry because you fear something is going to happen. So these are all forms of fear. The question then is, what are you afraid of and why? The thing people don't realize about fear is that when you're afraid, you're not afraid of what's happening to you right now, in this very moment. The only thing you're afraid of is what you think is going to happen to you. So when you look at it, you see that you're only afraid of something that has not even happened yet. If you were to suddenly come face to face with a lion, your fear would not be of the lion itself, or the fact that you're standing there face to face with a lion. The cause of your fear would be what you think it's going to do to you. You're only afraid because you think it's going to hurt or kill you. If you didn't think it's going to hurt you in any way, you wouldn't be afraid. If the lion suddenly turned around and started walking away, even though you can still see it, your fear would start to subside because now you know it's not going to hurt you. In an animal circus, the animal handler easily handles and plays with the lion because there is no fear. He has trained and known the lion for a long time and is not thinking the lion is going to attack and hurt me. Instead, he is focused on the act and his interaction with the lion. So you're only afraid of what you think is going to happen, meaning you're afraid of something that has yet to happen, something that don't exist. In other words, you yourself are creating the fear by believing your mind as it paints pictures of situations that don't even exist, except only in your mind. It's like going to the movies and watch a horror movie. You scream and cringe at horror scenes of bloody zombies slashing each other, while all the time you're just sitting in your comfortable reclining theater seat looking at pictures on a wall. Zombies don't even exist, but the picture has triggered your imagination. And this is the same thing we do all the time in life. Cringe at horror scenes made up in our minds. It's the same thing when you lie awake in bed at night, worrying. You're worrying about things that have not happened, but only exist in your imagination. Worrying about what ifs. What if this or that happens, or don't happen? So it goes for anxiety. Fear of non-existent things you imagine might happen. You can already start to see that this is all but a play of the mind. So how or why does this happen? This happens as a result of one's failure to observe their own mind. Thus, they have no control of their thoughts and emotions. So in essence, you are the cause of your own fears. You are the one who has no control of your thoughts and emotions. This can stem from you holding on to bitter memories of the past, as if things that happened in your past are still happening today, or are still bound to happen and hurt you again. So when you were 18, you had an accident. You got hit by a car while riding your bicycle. You got some bruises here and there, nothing major, but was obviously shaken by the incident. Now 20 years later, and you still won't ride a bike because riding a bike reminds you of the accident way back when you were 18, which triggers your fear. You're still afraid because you believe if you ride a bike today, you'll get hit by a car. If a little child touches a hot stove and get burned, that child will not go back the next day and touch the same hot stove again. But that's what you're doing. You're going back to touch the same hot stove that already burnt you yesterday. What you have done is held on to the past. Things that happened in the past you held on to and dragged into the present as if they can still hurt you today or in the future. So you're here standing in the present, still dragging the past along and projecting it into the future. You had a bike accident in the past and are afraid right now in the present, afraid that it will happen again in the future if you ride a bike. This is all in the mind. Your mind is making up all these scenarios of what will happen based on the fact that it has happened before. Is it possible that you can have any kind of accident again in your life? Yes, it's highly possible. Anybody who rides a bike can have a bike accident. Anybody who drives a car can be in a car accident. Anybody who cooks could have an accident in the kitchen. At work, jobs have occupational hazards. Anybody anywhere can have an accident any day, any time in their life. It's nothing to do with you or what happened to you in the past. It's just life happening. Whatever is destined to happen will happen, whether you ride a bike again or not. The trigger for all this fear and anxiety don't even have to be something that happened to you in the past, but can be something mind-made, unconsciously self-created. Somebody has watched too many movies and seen too many scenes of horrible plane crashes depicted in the movies, or have seen news of a plane crash on a newscast, and now they swear they will never get on a plane in their life because they are afraid the plane will crash. The idea of getting on a plane brings up pictures in their head of planes crashing. That's fear of flying, all from the movies or some newscast they saw. Nothing but a play of the mind. It's not so much a play of the mind as it is of you not observing it. For the problem is not the mind itself, but of you not observing your mind, being aware of your thoughts. You have no space between yourself and your mind. So when the mind is busy as always, churning out thoughts, you have no space in which to observe the thoughts, but instead grab on and get carried away with the thoughts. What does it mean to have space between you and your thoughts? You see, the thoughts that you have are not yours, but are your mind's thoughts. You don't generate thoughts, the mind does. And you don't decide what thoughts the mind is going to come up with. The mind does it all on its own. It's automatic. You are not your mind. You are separate from it, meaning you can step back, create space between you and your mind so you can observe it. You can see every thought as it comes, hence you're able to deal appropriately with it. It's like in a game of basketball or football, any ball game. When one player has the ball, his teammates, expecting a pass, will run and move around, trying to create space between them and their opponents so that they have enough space to see the ball coming and properly catch it when it's passed to them. It's the same thing, except in the case of your thoughts, you don't want to catch them when they come. Instead, you just want to watch and let the thoughts pass by and go on without you trying to grab them. Let them pass by and dissolve into thin air. The problem comes when you grab and hold on to the thoughts. Then they will start giving you ideas and you'll start imagining things. So that is what's happening. Imagination is running away with you. Your mind is creating horror pictures in your head which you believe and deem to be premonitions of what's going to happen to you. Though in reality, nothing of the sort is happening or is going to happen. The cause of all this turmoil is one failing to observe their own mind and control their thoughts and emotions, thus creating the fear, be it anxiety or worry. Of course, people going through this anxiety and fear may not realize the root cause of it. All they know is the experience of it, and in a quest to get some relief, they rely on prescription pills to get the needed relief. There is nothing wrong with that, but one has to realize that the pills are like a band-aid that covers a wound without healing it. They are temporary relief because the effect of pills only lasts so long before you have to take more, because they don't actually heal the root of the problem. If there is to be permanent healing, one has to go to the root and pay attention to the mind. You need to observe your mind and the thoughts coming out of it. To find peacefulness, observe the movement of your mind, so you wouldn't have to experience all this fear in the first place. For it is not our natural state as human beings to be anxious. Pay attention to your mind and always observe your thoughts. Don't drag past pains into the present or project them into the future. Don't cling to and get carried away with the thoughts in your mind. Create space between you and your mind. Observe the thoughts coming out of it. Mindfulness, meditation, these are some of the things that can help you on this journey. Don't imprison yourself in your mind. Work on yourself.